Hey traders, John Howell here. Today we're going to be looking at, and wow, my volume is so high. Guys, just an analysis on the markets across. We'll be looking at gold, silver, be looking at the actual stock market itself. And this is just actually me doing my analysis for myself really. But I thought I'd just turn the camera on and just go through the markets to see, okay, what's really going on right now and what could we expect moving forward? So let's go straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into it today. As I said before, like I normally do this at the start of every week as well, just to get ready for the week and just to see where we are at. But I thought I'd just turn my camera on and give you guys give you guys a bit of an update on what I'm actually seeing in these markets here. So the first thing that I'm looking at here is I'm going to be looking at obviously the indices. I'm going to go through all the indices and then I'll go through gold, silver, maybe some of the mining stocks as well too, and just to share some thoughts with you on how I view the markets. And what we have here is two different time frames. Okay, we have the chart to the right is the daily charts, and the chart to the left is the weekly charts. And I really like to keep these together because one of the biggest things that I have learned in my trading career for 17 years, and one thing that just go back and test this and you'll be able to see this as well too, this happened with a lot of stocks as well, is that a lot of the times you'll get pullbacks like this here. So this is looking at the S&P. You see how you get these big pullbacks through here, and a lot of people think that this is just the top in the markets. But the most important thing is to look at the trend, and the trend is always looking at the weekly charts. Now this is obviously if you trade in the daily charts. Me, I love trading the daily charts. Sometimes I will look at these shorter time frame charts like the 5-minute charts, 15-minute charts if I'm intraday trading. But generally speaking, I'm trading the daily charts. I mean, I'm holding for a couple of days, sometimes up to a couple of weeks or more. That's how I trade. And so by doing that, because I'm trading on the daily charts, I always want to see where are we at when it comes to the overall big picture. I want to see the forest from the trees, so to speak. And that's what the weekly chart does. And I'm always looking at just simply what is the weekly trend doing. And this pullback here back in October was just this pullback through here. And so I was expecting, because it was just a pullback, you can see that this is just a lower high or higher low. There's another higher low and so on and so forth. Because we actually had a very big run up and we're just getting a pullback, I was expecting that this is just a pullback in an overall big bull market, because you can see that once again, in an upward trend, what do we have? Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So because this weekly chart was still up, this downward leg we had through here for a month or so, I wasn't worried about it. In fact, I was expecting, when this market was dropping through here, one, you saw a lot of negative headlines at the time. But secondly, I wasn't expecting to see that change. Now, obviously anything can happen, right? But because the weekly trend was up, I was expecting this thing to start to break out soon after it's had a bit of a pullback, bit of a resting phase, to go for what? To go for another move, and then just to continue this weekly trend. See that through there? And so on and so forth. So whenever I'm doing my analysis, I'm always seeing where are we at, because I want to be getting in, which I actually did. I want to be getting in here as we're just breaking out of this downward leg, right? And that's, let me just share that with you here. So just a rule of thumb, what I like to do is, let me actually just bring up a line. Right, what I like to do is when we get the pullback, when we get these pullbacks, see how we get these pullbacks, we get that through there. See how we're getting like a little bit of a short-term downtrend on this daily charts. When I do that, but I see that that's a direct correlation to, okay, this is just a pullback in this weekly charts through here. What I like to do is I like to just draw a trend line on the highs, and whenever it breaks, we're probably like so through there, right? And that's exactly what I did. And so and because we're doing this pullback, I was expecting to see this thing pick back up again. So we were at these highs through here, and then we rejected that level. So I knew that that was actually a strong level in this. This is just what? This is just a pullback. This is not a change in trend. Because remember, the weekly chart was having a big pullback as well. So you can see it through there. And oh, by the way, traders, if you really like this sort of stuff, the technical analysis side of things, but you also like trading systems and so on and so forth, I'm giving away a free trial to my Master Trader membership, which gives you access to over 20 hours worth of foundations, chart reading strategies, just like I'm teaching right now, 4 different trading systems. I'll give you weekly insights as well too, really important things to keep an eye on that week. And also I give you monthly live coaching sessions as well too. So I can give you away a free trial to it. So click on the very first link in the description, guys, and go get a free trial to that there. I guarantee you're gonna love it, or you won't be billed. So you got nothing to lose. So go grab a free trial to that. Plus I'm also giving you a 50% off the normal subscription price if you do stay a member after your free trial period. So click on the link in the description, guys, and go get access to that free trial right now. Get access to the membership, test it all out for 7 days. So that's exactly what I did. And so what happened is, as soon as we got this see this breakout here, that was telling me that now we have a high probability that this pullback is coming to an end and we're now getting ready to go for a run. And that's exactly what we did. We actually had a very big move breakout through there. So that's what I'm always looking at, really, like what's going on with these markets when it comes to simply trend analysis. And the charts really do tell you a story of, okay, what's going on right now. So that's a bit of preface to obviously how I look at the markets. And again, you can find some really incredible patterns when you're looking at these markets. So the first thing is, you can see here looking at this weekly charts, is that the trend is still, once again, the trend is still up, right? The last significant low was what? It was right there. That was that last significant low, which is really right through here. So we would really, to change this overall trend, for this overall big trend to completely come to an end, this market here would have to come down through to here, and then the bumblebees of the stratosphere, so to speak. The bumblebees, I call them bumblebees because they're all over the place, right? They're not really focusing on what the market's telling them, right? They've thrown a whole bunch of BS out there. When this happens, yes, now you can start the core potential top, because the market is telling you that, right? It's not about me, it's about the market. So we can see that if we do start to break these lows, that's when you can start the core potential top. No one knows if this is going to be the exact high or not, right? We never really know that. But if we start to break below this low here, which is these lows through here, now we could be in for something a lot more severe on the downside, right? But every time we've gotten these pullbacks, higher low, and then once again a higher low, and now we're getting what? Another higher low. So as long as the weekly chart continues to do that, the trend is going to continue, and we're likely to then continue back up. So that's the first thing. The trend is your friend. The trend is your friend until the end, and the trend is up on the weekly charts, the forest from the trees. So this pullback through here could be very short-lived. Now, the big thing I'm focusing here on when it comes to the S&P 500, that is, now traders, I do trade individual stocks as well too. I have a scanning process, meaning like I have a scan that I scan the stock market to look for different patterns and so on and so forth. So I do trade the individual stocks, but I just look for, I just look for my pattern that I'm looking for, right? So looking on this weekly chart through here, the big thing I'm noticing right now is what's going on right now in this. I just want to do something here. Where's my settings here for a minute? There we go. All right. I was wondering why it wasn't going. Okay, there we go. Cool. All right. I was just making it thick because some of you guys say it's very hard for you guys to see. Plus, I also like to have thick bars as well too. Now, there's an interesting pattern that's actually forming through here. Okay, firstly, we had a very big move up, and now if you watched my video yesterday, I talked about how the market is like an energy force, and if we have a very big move up for a while, we generally like to have a bit of a rest for a while, not really do much, okay, or a bit of a pullback. And that's exactly what happened, right? We had a pullback through here. Just the same thing, right? Then a pullback through here. We really went sideways, not really much going on. But we did make a low, we did make a higher low, and then we break out, made a higher high. So the big thing that I'm looking for, I'm focusing here on the S&P this week to see what it does, is this pattern here. The thing that I'm noticing, the thing is this, is that we had a definite strong resistance level through there. Okay, so we can see we actually broke down and we actually got straight back into, and we actually got back into that. The interesting that I'm going to see is like, where does this find support, right? Because we have a low, we have a higher low. What happens through here? So if I bring on my Fibonacci tools and I bring up, say let's actually just go from low to high. You can see I've got a lot of trend lines on there, can't you? Let me just take that one off the screen. Yep, cool. You actually can see it's actually in a very, 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 very tight triangle pattern. Anyway, so looking on this daily chart here, guys, you can see how that, once again, looking on this daily chart, you can see how that we are definitely right at that 50% level. So here's what I'm focusing on here when it comes to this daily chart right now. Let me actually just take everything off the screen here for a minute, just so I can focus on the chart itself, and I can share with you what I'm seeing. So we are getting a strong resistance and then a strong support through. It's a bit of a channel. So if the market does find support where it is right now, which is that 50% level, let me actually see if I can bring that back up again. Oh, it's going to do both charts, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, because it's linked. Let's actually see if it does. Okay. I'm noticing that we're at the 50% level right now, so that actually just could be we could get down to 50, maybe even a 60% level. But I'm going to be really interesting to see what happens through here, because we did make a higher high. This could be a higher low. Now, if this holds through here and we start to get back above this sort of level through here, the 4,800 level, that could be the start for a quite significant move. Because if I share that with you, you can see how once we start to break above here, if we do that, we can see on this, notice on this weekly chart back here, that this weekly chart here is also this very strong trend line through here. So if we can start to break above these sort of highs, 4,800 or maybe through here, that's going to break through that weekly chart through there. And then the next level, as you can see, the next major channel level, I'm going actually advanced here, guys. So as you can see, I'm going between charts. But you can see once we actually break out of this channel through here, and let me just take that off the screen there, because that's just more like a projection level. Once we actually break out of here, you can see how we've actually got this other resistance line through here, which was a channel. So we're probably going to start to make a very nice move back up to 5,400 or something like that. Once we actually break out here, this could be a small resting phase. So if we do that, this could be a very big shock to the market, and then we could start to see, oh, that's still there, is it, on that chart? Oh, because I didn't link it. You can see that we could start to make a very nice move back up towards, where did that trend line go? Daily, weekly. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure why that is. Why is that? Oh, anyway, so you can see, yeah, once again, where we're at right now. So if we do break above this level here, this weekly chart here, once again, this weekly chart is showing that we could that could be the start for quite a nice move to the upside. So that's what I'm definitely looking at through there, guys. And once again, traders, I don't know if that's definitely going to happen, but if the market does start to tell us, that we are holding here, we're getting ready to rally back up, guess what, traders? The buyers are still in control. And it's a 50%. If the market does hold 50% and we break above here, then it looks like this could be the start of maybe, what is that? 5,400. So that could be maybe a 600% rise. Sorry, a 600 point rise in the S&P 500. Because then we actually, people say, yes, this is a rising wedge, but guess what, traders? there was a rising wedge back here as well too. If I take everything off the screen, this is what a lot of traders actually missed even last year, right? They said there was a rising wedge last year, and they think that, oh, a rising wedge. Let me take that off the screen there, because I don't want too much on my screen. People say that, okay, a rising wedge equals downside, okay? That's what some people say. It's not necessarily true. We can have a rising wedge and then a break to the upside. A rising wedge doesn't mean it's definitely going to break down. Remember, just watch what the market is telling you. And I remember last year, this happened exact same thing happened on last year. Let me hide the drawings here. And look at this here. This was a rising wedge through here. Look at that. All right, that was the rising wedge, and it was squeezing out. Look what happened. Well, yes, we did break out, but look what happened. It came straight back up again, didn't it? And they're like, oh my goodness, the market knows this shit, guys. I tell you, the market does this shit because it noticed. Traders, if you're watching the hemisphere, the stratosphere of the markets, right, of the YouTubes like mine, and you're watching it and you're noticing everyone's talking about a pattern, then the pattern's not going to work out. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, the pattern's not going to work out. It may give you a fake out, like here, and I guarantee it's like, here we go, it's breaking to the downside, rising wedge, it's going to crash. And I guarantee you so many people would have shorted the hell out of the markets. But what was I actually doing at the time? Remember I said before, that was that pullback, and I was getting ready to go long, and then when they gave me the signal, I did go long and then had a very nice rise to the upside. So just because something is a rising wedge doesn't mean anything. It really comes back down to what the highs and lows are doing in that market there. So that's what I'm seeing through there, traders. Let's go have a look at the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq Nasdaq on the weekly charts, very, very, very clean, crystal clear. You can see that low, and this is where, once again, traders, please don't be fooled by the bumblebees in the markets and so on and so forth. Like, yes, we can get big drops through here and so on and so forth, but nothing's really changed through here yet. Okay, you can see how these big pullbacks that happen. Now, these are weekly charts, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a pullback for a month, another pullback for a month. But what was happening? High, higher low, right? And then the market's pulled up, and now we're just doing this through here. So yes, we're getting a lot of gyrations when it comes to this Nasdaq chart. A lot of gyrations, a lot of volatility in the tech sector, right? But nothing has changed yet when it comes to that. So if I just look at this chart once again, that's that last significant low, and as long as the market stays below here, then this big bull market that we've been in for quite some time is intact. And this is, once again, traders, look at this here. Ever since the bull market, higher low, higher low. Look at this here. The trend is your friend. This is the weekly chart, remember, traders? So, but remember, in these periods of time, these pullbacks, if I bring up my daily charts through here, you can see how these pullbacks through here, this is where people start to get freaked out because they get these big pullbacks and they get worried. But look what happened, right? Now, it doesn't mean everything's going to time, but if you know the trend is your friend until the end, right? You never know when the end of the trend is going to be. But as you can see, people have been shorting this market all the way up, and I've been long the market all the way up because of a very simple analysis of what I'm sharing with you right now, which is the trend is your friend. Really, they're focusing on that weekly chart trend there. So we are getting a lot of volatility through here, traders. So it's very, very hard to say what's going to happen this week here. But the big thing for me is that that last significant low is around that $1,800 level. If I just go into, say, the hourly chart, let's have a look at what the hourly chart's doing there. Okay, so we had a big drop down. So I wouldn't be too surprised, traders, if we did actually spend a bit of sort of sideways here. Bit of time just going sideways through here, and then if we are going to drop, then we drop from there. In fact, there could be a short-term trade there setting up soon. Anyway, I'll look at that later on, but I just stick with the daily charts for now for you guys. But we can see how that once again, this significant low here, we are getting a lot of volatility. So no one's really in control of the Nasdaq, because the Nasdaq's made let me do this through here, right? The Nasdaq's made a low, and a low. So we made a high. So no one's in control of the Nasdaq right now on the short-term chart. Buyers are definitely still in control on that long-term chart, the weekly chart. So the buyers are still up. So I definitely wouldn't want to be short in this market when it comes to the Nasdaq chart there. Let's have a look at the Dow Jones as well too. So I can automatically see that, look at this here, the Dow Jones low, still made a high low, still made another higher low. There's another low through there as well too, right? So still highs, still making slight high lows all the way up. And look at this back here, right? Came back down, came back up, and then we made a what? Then we made a low, which was a higher low. Then we ran up, then we made a high. So on the Dow Jones is probably the strongest one out of all of them, because the rising interest rates that we've been getting, you can see the 10-year is at 2.2 and the 30-year is now at 1.9. The rise in the interest rates that we've been getting has been good for bank stocks, and that's the reason why I think the Dow Jones is holding up a lot stronger at this time than the other markets out there. So you can see we had a low, we rallied up. So this could just be, if we do get a bit of a pullback, this could just be another low, higher low. The trend is your friend. Probably get another higher low here soon, and then away we go on the Dow Jones. So any downward movement here, guys, I wouldn't be looking to short it. Let me just bring up a Fibonacci level from. Actually, let me bring up this Fibonacci here from there to there. You can see how that it came down 50 to 60% held strong, and then we had a rally up. If we go back to this next level from here to here, you can see how the 50% level there. So if we do get a bit of a pullback, it's probably going to find a bit of support around this 35,800 sort of 35,800, 35,600 level. That's where it's probably going to find a lot of support through there. And you can see, actually, look what happened here recently, right? Look at this weekly chart. Came down, found support through here, and then we had a low through there. So I just connected to the trend line, and look what happened here recently. Came down, found support, and then broke up. So the trend is still up, guys. So I definitely wouldn't want to be, I'm definitely not looking for any short positions here. Yes, the market can drop through there, guys, but it's not about, it's just looking for good probabilities to jump in on something that has the chance of making quite a nice move. Let's go have a look at the Russell here for a minute. And this is something that did surprise me when it come to the Russell. Oh, let me just delete that up. So looking at the Russell, we just spent a lot of time going sideways through here. Really ran up sideways. We had a bit of a break up and then a breakdown, and now we just there's a lot of support around this level through here. Did that connect? Did that go across? Let me see if I can do that again. I'm just trying to get. Oh, there we go. Cool. Right. So it linked. Cool. So you can see how we spent a lot of time sideways through here. Now we're spending a lot of time sideways through here. We had a big move up, and now we've had a big move down, and now we're just going sideways overall. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the Russell through here. Do we continue down through here? And the weekly chart, what? The weekly charts, there's no one in control. So there's buyers in control, which is obviously an upward trend, which is obviously a lot of the indices I'm showing with you right now. And then there's sellers in control, which is probably going to be it's going to be a lot of the mining stocks that I'm going to share with you right now. And then there's no one in control, right? It's just sideways, which is like the Nasdaq on the daily charts, and then obviously this stuff through here. So really, no one's in control right now on the Russell. So very, very, very hard to sort of give any commentary on this one through here. But if we do break below this level through here, traders, it could be a very, 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 very sharp drop on the Russell coming on the downside, because we have spent a lot of time just doing nothing through here. So if we do drop below, then it could actually be a very big drop. The trend is not up because we just got sideways through here. So really not much going on through there. Let's have a look at just the interest rates real quick as well. The interest rates, you can see the interest rates, very, very interesting that the interest rates have actually broken through the 1.8 level now. I think that's one of the reasons why the tech sector has been getting hit so hard, or a lot of volatility there. We're getting a massive rise in the interest rates in the 10-year, which is also benefiting the bank stocks, which is probably one of the reasons why we're getting quite a strong move out of the Dow Jones. If you can see how that sort of correlates through there. And now we have a very big break up through here, looking at the obviously the 10-year. So we've now broken out of this ascending triangle pattern through here, this triangle pattern low. Once again, traders, look at this here, low and a strong higher low, and now we're breaking back up again. So we may get a bit of a pause, but this actually could start to make this could be the start of, and let me actually just take that off the screen, because it's more like we've got a bit of a trend line coming down through, really through there somewhere. Yeah, that'll be the level through there. And so now we're actually definitely breaking out very strongly on the upside, looking at that. And so it does look like that, yeah, and now we spend a lot of time. As you can see, right, traders, look at this here. Pullback, higher low, pullback, higher low. And now we're breaking out. We're breaking out above this high through here. Yes, we're making lower highs and making higher lows. Now we're broken out. This actually could be a very strong continuation move on the 10-year interest rate to the upside. Let's go have a look at this here. Okay, cool. So you can see what's actually happened here. We've actually, on the 10-year, we had a really no one there, right? We had a higher low, then we had a lower high come in, and then we had a false breakdown. The market does this all the time. It gives people, look at this here. So it actually broke down past this level very, very quickly, and then shot straight back up, and then now it's actually doing that. So it broke straight past that, which is that level through there, and just gave people a fake out. And if I draw a trend line through right these levels on the weekly chart, you can see how what actually happened here, right? You can see how that it came down a lot, and then now you can see how it broke down, but it came up really, really, really quickly. When that happens, traders, but if you're trading a breakout type of a move, if the market does break down past here, but it comes straight back up really quickly, like within a few days, you know you're in a false breakout. And if you are short through this time, you need to be out, because this thing is probably going to at least run back up towards the top up here. That's generally what happens with these false breakouts. And false breakout, and then it generally runs to the top, to the other side of the resistance level. And as you can see, that's what happens through there. It's actually a trading pattern that I like to trade myself, traders. So just be careful of that. Let's go have a look at oil. And then we'll get into gold and silver. So once again, traders, as you can see, it's really the exact same thing. What's this weekly chart doing? So the weekly chart is doing what? We had a low, we had a higher low, and as you can see, higher low, maybe a double bottom, call it a double bottom through there, but it didn't actually break through, did it? And then now we continued up. If we have a look at the daily charts, look what the daily charts did, right? We had this pullback. Okay, the pullback, and this is where it's about listening to the market. We had this pullback, it rallied up, we made this lower high, we broke back down, but look what happened here. We made a higher low, and then we broke that level. What is that now? This is now what? An uptrend, right? Because a higher low and then breaking past is now an uptrend. That's why, if you remember, if I go back, let me actually just bring up this daily chart, but I'm going to go back to the S&P 500. Remember I said on the S&P 500 that if we do start to make a higher low here and we break past these highs, remember I said before, then that's the buyers now continuing that trend. And the same thing through here, right? Higher low, breaking past, and that's the reason why we've had a very nice move so far anyway on the oil market. So I definitely wouldn't want to be fighting oil, definitely wouldn't want to be short oil right now. I know a lot of people would definitely wanted to be short oil through here. There might have been a shorting opportunity, but if you're like if you want to try to jump on the best type of things, the best thing is to wait for these pullbacks to come to an end and then try to jump in after a good pullback can come into play. Let's have a look at gold now and see what gold's been up to. Gold, eh? Oh my goodness, gold is just a nothing burger, isn't it? Gold is really just a nothing burger. That we're still stuck in this overall triangle pattern. Let me actually bring up. Do I have any trend lines? Yeah, I do. Yeah, cool. All right. So gold is really still stuck in this. Let me just squeeze this chart a bit more. This is that weekly chart on gold. As you can see, the trend lines are not coming to this daily chart, but the weekly, this weekly chart to the left, you can see here, we're still stuck in this overall big long-term triangle pattern. That may be the triangle pattern there, or maybe it's, as you can see, it's very subjective anyway. But let me bring that through there. So that might be something through there. Looking at that, so it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens with gold, and that's the reason why gold's had a lot of volatility, traders, because it's just been squeezing up. But this is where a lot of traders, you've had to have a lot of patience over the last 12 months of if you're a gold investor. But if we do start to break out through here, because we've actually had a lot of time going sideways, the next move is going to be pretty big. Even if it breaks down, if it does break down, we're probably going to go for a pretty strong move on the downside. I'm going to dislike, especially that comment. Let's go look at silver here, and silver on the weekly charts. And the thing is that once again, traders, let's go to the weekly charts. Who's in control on the weekly charts? Right now, we can see we've had a high, we've had a low, we've had a lower low, and a lower high, and now we're developing some sort of lower high, and we have a major support level through here. So this is actually looking quite ugly. A lot of the times when we're looking at the markets, what the market can do is, or what the market does a lot of the times, is that it'll give us a small little, if the market's at a support level here, and it'll come down, find support, and then it'll find support, and it'll give it a little lower high, and then it'll break. If that happens, notice how this is where the sellers came in and dropped it down. They're so much earlier than here, and here, so to speak. Makes sense? So if that happens, it's showing you that, oh my goodness, the sellers are coming in so much. They're coming in so much earlier now than just than the buyers coming back up here, and the sellers letting it go back up. The sellers coming a lot stronger through here. This is exactly what happened to, and the same for the upside, right? If you have an upside movement and you have maybe like even a bit of a triangle pattern, hit resistance, you have a little bit of a pullback and then a strong breakout. Notice how the buyers are coming in so much stronger, right? At that time. That's actually happened with, that's what happened with, if we go back to the 10-year. Let me share with the 10-year here, right? Look at this here. So the 10-year, you can see how we had a low and then a very big pullback, and then we had a small pullback through here, not really much, and then bam, look at that breakout. So let me go back to silver. So the reason why I mentioned that is because if I bring up my trend lines now, and I bring up that sort of major level through, that'll be the level through there. And the next level of support is probably down here somewhere. All right, I'm just looking at this weekly chart now to identify. That's that next level of support probably through there. So we have that level through there where we may even get a bit of a drop down, but we do get a lower high through here, traders, once again. And we are getting this sort of squeezing down pattern in silver right now. So I know a lot of people are bullish silver, but I think long term, I think over the next 5 to 10 years, silver is going to be very, very, very big. But looking at this chart here, traders, and looking at this chart through here on this weekly charts, it doesn't look too good. If I go back to my daily charts and open up my daily charts, look at it through here. This is that. Remember I said before, when the buyers come in very early. Sorry, the sellers. You see we had a strong move down, then we had a very move up, and look what's happening right now. We're coming in very, very, very early through here. So there's actually a high probability, it hasn't happened yet, but there's a high probability we're going to break this level, and then from that, because it's a very significant level on this weekly chart, a very big long-term chart, and we do start to break it on the daily charts, that could start to send silver sharply on the downside. So the buyers are definitely not in control in silver right now when it comes to the short-term chart anyway, and we can start to see that once again. And once again, we had a move down, and then we had a very weak move up. You can see even from a Fibonacci perspective, look at this through here. Remember I said the 50% level? Look at that through there. Notice how I said before, when the market rallies up to a 50%, even a 60% level, and then continues, this is actually strong. This is a very strong momentum here, because if the market drops and then we rally and then we start to turn around through there, if the market does do that, then what's likely to happen is that this is what's called strong momentum in that direction, right? Very strong lower high because the sellers came in a lot stronger and we broke through there. So if we start to break below this level through here, traders, we're probably going to get a pretty sharp drop. We're probably going to get a pretty, let's actually look at it on percentage terms. See, gold's actually, if that happens, then gold's probably going to break out of that triangle pattern on the downside. But if you look at this from here, that's actually probably around about a 20% drop on silver. And maybe we're going to get a big pullback in all markets. And even the crypto markets, right? Which I'll share with you what I'm seeing on with the crypto market there. I'm just looking at through. Let me just auto this here. Right, so you see how I do my analysis, traders. I'm always looking at where we are on the weekly charts, then I'm looking at my daily charts. Again, I'm just doing my analysis for myself, really, to see what's happening this week, to get ready. But again, I'm just turning my camera on and also just talking the way that I'm thinking about what's happening, and so I can just benefit from this, right? Because there might be a beautiful short-term trade on silver coming real soon, and I need to be aware and I need to be ready for that. And that's how preparation meets opportunity equals you getting pretty lucky. Yeah, so that'll be that on the silver market there. Let's actually look at the GDX. The GDX here. And we'll go to that one there as well. The GDX, the gold mining stocks, that is. Take everything off the screen. Okay, so same for the gold mining stocks, right? So the gold mining stocks, as you can see, we've been in a very, very strong downward trend, and it hasn't come to an end yet. I'm very bullish these gold mining stocks, guys. Again, long term, but on the short term, you can't hide or you can't ignore the reality of what's going on through here. I know some people don't like that, but you can see we've actually had a very strong support level through here. And then we've had a high, a lower high. And if I look at my charts, we had a lower high through here. And now we're actually spending a bit of time just going sideways through here. So that's actually a very strong level of support. You can see it's actually this whole level back here. Let me bring this back up here. Again, this chart to the left, guys, is the weekly chart, just for a reminder. So we have this chart to the left here, and this whole level all through here is a major resistance, major resistance. Now it's a major support, major support. If we do get a drop down through here, traders, then we could be getting ready for at least a bit of a short-term drop out of that, but it's just not looking too good through there. If I go back to my daily charts, the very interesting thing that I'm noticing right now when it comes to the daily charts is just like silver. Remember I said before with silver how the sellers came in a lot stronger. We had a high, we came down at a low. Look at this here. Look how strong we're doing through here. And then now we've got this gap. What does that gap mean? Let me explain here. So we've got a bit of a gap down here. If the sellers hold here, okay, bear with me for a minute, okay, traders. If the sellers hold here, actually, let me start over again. We had a strong move down and then a strong move up, and then the sellers came in a lot stronger through here, okay? And then it created a bit of a gap. If the sellers continue to break this strong, significant support level down through, if the sellers do continue down through here, and we start to get something like this, then that tells us that this was a breakaway gap, and a breakaway gap is the start of a move, especially when you get a bit of a gap after a pullback in the market. So you get a drop down, a pullback, and after a pullback, and you get a bit of a gap. That's a lot of pressure on that movement there. Now, sometimes that can be like a bit of a false gap. So it just depends on what happens through here. If the market does do this, okay, there's a few scenarios here, but the trend is down. So if the market does continue down from here for the next couple of days, next one down 2 days, like so, okay, like that, and then like that. The markets, the movement through here, that's once again, that's telling us this is a breakaway gap, and that's going to be the start of a move. And once we do start through there, we're probably going to see quite a nice hard and fast flush, because we are high, lower high, and we've just spent a bit of time just going through there. So I would expect to see this market to have a pretty hard and fast movement on the downside. If I just have a look at the longer term charts through there, let's actually just see where we may even find a bit of support level. All right, maybe through there somewhere. There's the line coming. So yeah, so that's actually very... I want to just create a parallel trend line. There is a bit of strong level of support or resistance all through there. So wow, traders, wow. I'm just looking at the major levels of support or resistance and where this other trend line comes into play. And we could be getting ready for, if we do break this level from where it is now to that level there, that could be a, you know, an 18 to maybe even a 20% drop to the downside if we start to break this significant support level through here. And we do continue. And the reason why is, once again, traders, the trend is your friend, right? That's the reality of it. The trend is still down. Remember I said before, like on the S&P, right? The market does have its pullback and the trend is still down. Oh, sorry, the trend was up on the stock market. This is the flip side, right? We have the trend on the trend lower high. We break this level, like we break through here, then we're probably going to have a strong sell-off in the mining sector. Now, I do believe that's going to be a long-term investing buying opportunity for gold and silver and actually, yeah, just interesting about that, right? Looks like maybe the metals, gold, silver, the mining sector setting up to maybe continue breaking down. We break down through here, guys, then we're probably going to have a pretty fast drop in the mining sector. Mining sector, gold, silver are not looking good at all right now, and so that's what I'm seeing through there, traders, on that level. Let's go have a look at Bitcoin. I know a lot of people just signed off from there when it comes to gold and silver, but let's have a look at Bitcoin through here. Bitcoin. The thing with Bitcoin is there's really not much. We had a very strong move up, and then we've had a very strong move down. What Bitcoin did is Bitcoin had a strong move up through here. Look at this here. Things are changing with Bitcoin, right? We had a low, then we had a big rally up, then what? Came back down. But look at it. Look at this. What is this through here? This is still a what? Another higher low, and then we had a move up, and then another high low, and a move up. But look what's happening now. We're actually about to break. We're coming down through that level through there. Very strong support level where we are right now. I don't expect that to hold, but again, who knows? But looking at that through there, now if I go to my daily charts, you can see how we've had a very strong. Remember I said before on the, obviously the silver and the mining charts, that when the sellers come in early, right? When they come in you have this sort of support level through here. When the market comes down and they come in very strong, we're actually likely to get a bit of a waterfall. And that's exactly what happened here, right? We had a move down, the sellers came up, and then they bam, just dropped it really quickly. We are at a strong level of support through this level through here, right? Especially on that weekly chart, which is that level through there. We break this level, traders, on the mining on Bitcoin, then yeah, we're probably gonna, the next major levels back, that we're probably gonna have a move back down towards that level through there. That may even be a pretty, it may even set up for a shorting opportunity on the shorter term time frame charts. I'll keep an eye on that. Anyway, so that may be a shorting opportunity for me to short Bitcoin coming on through there. So there we go, traders. I'll leave it at that. But there's a bit of an analysis of how I think about the markets, and hopefully by me walking you through how I view the markets and what I do through here, gives you some understandings and the way they view the markets. And again, guys, we just want to look at the reality of the situation, and then we want to make good decisions based off what the market is doing. And that's what I've walked you through today, and how I get prepared for the week ahead. But as I said before, traders, also that every day I'm running scans. I have my own scanning process to look at the stock market, and I go through the stock market, individual stocks that I trade, just like you saw with it when I traded, last. Let me just bring this up through here. Remember I said before when I traded also like XOM, right? So I traded XOM. As you guys know, I traded this through here when the market broke out. Again, guys, it's nothing new, right? Let me just bring it up through here. Right, look what happened here. Remember the whole thing I've been saying the whole time, right? Look at this here. Low, higher low, and a higher low, right? And then this pullback through here. Once again, once the market broke through there. Remember I said this to you in today's session, right? Once this pullback's come to an end, we got a breakout. That tells me this higher low is now coming to an end, and we're now likely to start a very nice move up. And then obviously we had a very move up. I did the exact same thing happen on XLE, right? And then let's bring on the XLE. Same sort of thing, traders. You know, again, it's the same thing, isn't it? Weekly chart was making a higher low and a higher low, so I knew that this whole thing here was probably going to be a very short-term pullback. Once same thing, when I get the pullback, I identify these highs through here, through this pullback for a couple of months. Once we start to get the breakout, I know that we're getting ready for probably this whole pullback here, this higher low to end, and then a very strong move should start to happen out of that. And that's exactly what's happened, you know, through there on that. So they're just a few stocks. I also traded a few other stocks, but you've seen that for the last few weeks. But again, I'm just giving you guys examples of, these are trades that I took last week that are just on the exact same thing, right? I want to trade with the trend, and I want to trade with the best moves. And again, especially when you're trading with options, these moves are very, 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 very nice, rewarding in the markets through there. So there we go, traders. Once again, if you like this sort of stuff that I'm teaching you right now, then make sure you grab that free trial to the Master Trader membership that I'm doing, which again gives you over 20 hours worth of training just like this. System strategies, different patterns that I trade as well too. I give you weekly insights to that. So every single week I'm creating new weekly trainings, and then every month I'm doing live sessions for you as well. So when you do sign up to that, also if you're interested in becoming like an inner circle private client, then you'll be able to see all the details after you sign up to the free trial to the Master Trader Lab. So anyway, guys, go get access to the Master Trader membership, and I will speak to you real soon.